Hotel and Casino for the women's edition of the Geico World Bowling Tour Finals. The best bowlers on the planet have navigated through Europe, North America, Asia, and Australia just to earn the right to bowl today for the title. And after all these events, 2010 TOC champion Kelly Kulik ended up missing the cut by just 11 points. So it'll be two Swedes, Nina Flack and Sandra Andersson, and the lone American, the Hall of Famer, Carolyn Dorin Ballard. Glad you're back here with us in Vegas. Rob Stone and Randy Peterson with you. We just saw Finland's Mika Koivuniemi claim the men's crown of this event. Two young ladies from a neighboring country, Sweden, have a chance to go home to Europe with the crown, but first they have to get by the ageless one, Carolyn Dorin Ballard. Not an easy task.
Yeah, it seems like a pretty tall order, especially when you look at Carolyn Dorin Ballard's resume. The Hall of Famer has 20 wins, 3 majors. She's won Player of the Year twice. But Rob, for me, the big one is the fact that she has all of the experience bowling under the bright lights here. I think it's a huge advantage for her.
This does not face CDB one bit. So Carolyn Dorin Ballard, your #1 seed, waiting in the wings. And she'll wait to see who she'll take on in the championship match. Will it be Andersson or Flack? We're going to find out right now.
The 2010 European Masters silver medalist and current member of Team Sweden, Sandra Andersson.
She hails from Ängelholm, Sweden, just 20 years of age. Was #2 at the Kuwait Open in Kuwait City in late March, which helped her earn a spot here in Las Vegas.
For me, my favorite stat about her favorite TV show, 2.5 Men.
Starts off with the strike. I don't know what that says about a young lady if that's her favorite show.
I mean, she's got good taste.
That says.
And not a very good break there.
Ooh. Game effort, but it'll be back-to-back open frames for Flack. You would think with this Swedish-American feel, we would have a different oil pattern. We're going south of the border. Mexico City, long oil pattern. How does that affect play?
Well, the longer the pattern, the less back-end reaction there's going to be. So the less power you have, the harder it's going to be to get the bowling ball to drive through the pins.
Back-to-back opening jacks for Andersson.
See, Sandra's got a lot of roll, and you can see her ball coming off the end of the pattern and really driving through the pins. Nina's got a little more spin to her shot and her release. I don't see how a 45-foot pattern's going to favor that. That ball right around the second arrow, at the arrows at 15 feet or so. The big key, watch her release. Watch the hand underneath the bowling ball to create roll.
Sandra Andersson's arsenal, Nano, Nexus Solid, and Nexus Pearl. Through the nose, gets a late kick of the 10.
There's the roll. Unfortunately, the ball is left of target out of her hand.
And her first open frame. So as bad as things have been for Nina Flack, that open frame by her countrymate Andersson giving her an opportunity to get right back into this one.
Good shot there. Only to leave the soft 10. Nina's bowled all over the world. In fact, she won the 2008 Qatar Open by beating Jason Belmonte in the semis and Dom Barrett from England in the finals.
First mark for Nina. Those two good friends competing together in Sweden and across Europe came together to Las Vegas and enjoyed their time here doing some sightseeing and some shopping. But now it is bowling time. See the blue tape on the two outside fingers of Nina Flack. Had some finger and forearm issues about 7 years ago. And she has been taping those two fingers together to kind of strengthen her grip, her cause, ever since.
Remember the last time on the left lane she went high, leaving the split. This time it's a little light, leaving the 2-4-5. What I want to know, though, Rob, is, I'll wait for Nina to shoot this spare, but I have a question for you.
Should I be frightened? Another open frame. Can you keep that question until we return from the break?
Yes.
It better be. I hope it's break worthy.
It's good.
I'm looking forward to it. Nina Flack in an early hole, down 31 pins to Andersson. The Geico World Bowling Tour Finals, presented by the PBA, is brought to you by Geico, saving people money on more than just car insurance. Rob Stone, Randy Peterson, welcoming you back to Las Vegas. Match number 1 of the Geico World Bowling Tour Women's Finals. Sandra Andersson. Strike, strike, and then an open frame in the third. Back on the strike.
Love this shot here. Rolls it really nice off her hand. That ball goes right through the 1-3 dead flush perfect.
Nice rebuttal from her open frame in the third. She steps up looking for her second double.
Good shot. I really like this game. She's really solid at the foul line, and she's got a little something on the bowling ball. She rolls it good. She's got some back end. Leaving that soft 10. Oh, no.
Second open frame for Andersson. So here's Nina Flack in the fifth.
And so here's my Nina Flack story, right? So it says she works full-time as a manager of a bowling center, and the name of the center is Nina's Bowling and Cafe. Well, if it's named after her.
Finally a strike for Nina.
If it's named after her, shouldn't she be the owner and not the manager? I mean, shouldn't she have somebody else managing it? She should just sit back and count the money.
You know who's counting the money? Her dad, Lars, who runs the center with her. So after her first mark, trying to add to it in the sixth.
We talked a little bit in our first WBT show about how consistent Mika's speed was. Well, when you look at Nina Flack's ball speed, he has nothing on her. How about 17.3 to 17.5 across the board?
Interesting. first spare for Flack. She sits down, trailing by 19. I asked Sandra Andersson, tell me something about Sweden. You know, the first word actually that both of them said, cold. Not exactly a great sales pitch. Oh, a very beautiful country. And a strike. She started bowling at age 3, Randy, and her first league bowling contest 2 years later at the age of 5.
Is that legal?
I'm not sure. Maybe in Sweden. I don't think it is here.
Another nice shot. Now all she has to do is avoid another open frame, put together a couple more strikes. She's going to move on to face the beast from the east, Carolyn Dorin Ballard. She's from New Jersey.
Beast from the east, CDB. She's not going to be happy with you when she hears that.
Nice.
There's another strike. She grew up in a bowling center. She too works there at the Angel Holmes Bowling AP. Her parents work there as well. We see that so many times through our years here on the PBA and dealing with domestic and international players. Some of the top talents have grown up in bowling centers. There's a strike. Number 2 for Nina. Coming up next week, 3 European stars and 1 American. Part of the first of 4 eliminator format shows that will determine the finals for the first major of the season. It'll be the Don Carter division of the PBA World Championship. The lone American being Jack Jurek. The Europeans, Oski Palermo, Stuart Williams, and fellow Englishman, Dom Barrett. You can see that one Sunday at 1 Eastern. Through the middle.
Yeah. And big trouble on that left lane for her because she misses just a little bit to the right. The ball goes light. She tries to squirt up and it goes through the nose.
Extra Frame, PBA's online video subscription service, allows you to watch hours of exclusive live bowling from PBA events across the country. You also get product reviews, player interviews, and you can see our ESPN telecasts as well. There's a spare for Nina.
That ball was about 3 boards left of the ball that she threw in the 6th frame, and there's no way that that ball is going to hold its line to the pocket. She's like, "Ooh, I thought I was going to chop the 610."
Great reaction shot from Nina Flack. She stands way back to watch her country mate, Sandra Andersson. Leaves the 7.
And honestly, this 45-foot pattern is going to favor Sandra Andersson a lot more than it's going to favor Nina Flack, simply because Sandra's got a little bit more on it. And the longer the pattern gets, the more conducive that is to revolutions. We saw Jason Belmonte, Sean Rash have great success on the same pattern. Even though Mika came away with the title, the high-rev players really like that longer oil pattern. The heavier it gets, the better for them.
3rd consecutive mark for Andersson. Her lead now ballooning to 28. Ten-pin shy of her 6th strike.
You know, if that bowling ball could make the move another 5 feet sooner, even 3 feet sooner, the 10-pin gets taken out. But because the oil pattern's 45 feet, guess what? That's not an option.
So what should she be doing?
Well, she should try to slow her ball speed down just a little bit to get it to start to pick up a little bit sooner.
Flack and Andersson battling it out. The winner to take on your #1 seed, the proud American from Jersey, now lives in Texas, CDB, Carolyn Dorin Ballard. Only 2 strikes for Flack. They have both come on this right lane.
Tough pattern for her, Rob.
Man, she never found a groove, did she?
Yeah, it's hard to bowl well when you don't have a ball reaction. And she throws the ball fairly straight. And the longer that oil pattern gets, the tougher it's going to be for her. Remember, these women qualified bowling all over the world on a lot of different oil patterns. Not just this. In fact, I think this was the only time it was used was in Mexico City.
Flack down 30 as we begin the 10th.
There you go. Nice shot.
Mika Koivuniemi was out yesterday watching the ladies practice, and he gave them a little bit of advice when they're on television.
What did he tell them?
When they're angry, to verbalize it in their native tongue, and they will not be punished.
No fines.
Unable to convert in the 10th. And Nina in the books with the 160. And Sandra will easily move on. Sandra will move on in comfortable fashion to take on our #1 seed, the American, Carolyn Dorin Ballard. And we'll hear from CDB on the backside. So our final is set. The 20-year-old Sandra Andersson from Sweden to take on the grizzled American vet, Carolyn Dorin Ballard. Welcome back to the Geico World Bowling Tour Finals, where Sandra Andersson has defeated fellow Swede Nina Flack, the final 190-160 in the semifinal. Time now for today's More of What Matters to You question, brought to you by the makers of One-A-Day Men's Pro Edge. It comes your way from Tom from Port Charlotte, Florida, and here's Randy with the question.
Thanks, Rob. Carolyn, is the player that throws the ball straight a thing of the past in today's game?
Well, obviously, as you can see from the last match, no, it's not. I think it's, to the advantage, especially when there's a lot of dry. You just got to get lined up to it correctly. But, I've had some success doing it, throwing it a little straight, so I'm going to continue that and hopefully win.
All right, so let's talk about strategy in the upcoming title match. How do you attack this 45-foot oil patch? It's extremely long and heavy. How do you attack it?
It's funny. I've been practicing on it, and actually I've played a lot deeper than I did when we came and practiced here. So I'm going to actually try to be a little more on top of it and make my moves really slight off of that so that I'm not too deep, because that's just not the way the lanes are playing tonight.
Thanks, Carolyn. Good luck.
First step towards the first major of the PBA year comes your way next Sunday, 1 Eastern, right here on ESPN. It's the Don Carter division of the PBA World Championship. Williams, Palermo, Barrett, and Jack the Ripper Jurek in action. For more info, as always, just log on to PBA.com. CDB hasn't won out on the tour since December 7th of 2008. We'll try and end that slide when we return to Vegas. Rob Stone and the Hall of Famer Randy Peterson back here with you from the South Point Casino and Exhibition Hall in Las Vegas. Continuing coverage of the Geico World Bowling Tour Finals. It is championship match time. Sandra Andersson victorious in match number 1, 190 to 160 over Nina Flack. Up now, the legend Carolyn Dorin Ballard. Here is Sandra to roll first. Leaves the 7.
I think the thing to watch for in this match, Rob, is to see if there is an intimidation factor. Does Sandra feel intimidated by the sheer presence of CDB?
Whiff in the first frame.
She owns 20 career pro titles representing the USA. CDB Carolyn Dorin Ballard.
I don't want to harp on Carolyn's age because she already wants to knock me in the mouth half the time when I see her. But at 47, she admitted yesterday, well, it's official. I'm now more than 20 years older than most of my opponents. And she is still excelling at an extremely high level.
Yes! Come on.
And there's Exhibit A.
Well, lots of game there. And I wanted to see out of the gate if she could roll it hard enough to get her ball to tip and face the pocket. That first shot was perfect. I watched her a lot in practice. It looked like her ball was laboring just a little bit. Maybe it was an equipment change, but that ball sure revved up and drove through the pins the way she wanted it to.
Look at her trying to tighten the noose on Andersson here in the second frame. The youngster whiffs on the 7-pin for an open frame. And the opponent, Carolyn, steps up, drops all 10. Here she is to start the second.
Come on! He likes that one, too.
That was really good. Yeah, it's funny you talk about how she's trying to tighten the noose on Sandra. Right now, the first 2 frames of any professional bowler's TV show, those first 2 frames, you're just trying to breathe. And I guarantee you, no matter how many times Carolyn's been on the air, and no matter how many championships she's won, the first couple of shots, it's hyperventilation time.
Look at that look. Dialed in on the 10-pin and drops it. So the 20-year-old from Ängelholm, Sweden, steps up. Last time she was on the lane, she went left of the 7-pin into the gutter. She's been a member of Team Sweden for the last couple years. Left the 7 on the left frame, or lane, and left the 10 on the right.
Missed the 7-pin in the first frame. Remember, in her first match against Nina Flack, she missed the 10-pin in the 5th frame. Single pin spares have been a little bit of an issue.
And again, an issue. She's got to pull back, breathe, relax, and get back into her game. Already down 22.
And already making a ball change. Well, she wasn't feeling any pressure to start this match. She's feeling a bunch now. Because not only is she bowling against one of the greatest women players of all time, but she hasn't made a spare yet.
0 for 2 on single pin spares here in the title match. Got it. Exhale. So CDB set for her effort in the third. Here's a look at the 2012 World Bowling Tour schedule. Finland in early January, back to the States, twice in Nevada, Japan, Jersey, Kuwait, and France. And our congratulations to WTBA President Kevin Dornberger for putting together this wonderful event. Continuing events, Texas, the Queens, Bahamas, Korea. I'll tell you, look at all the places that the World Bowling Tour will be going to in 2012. Looks like a nice little vacation, man. There's some great spots.
I'm going to bowl in the Bahamas. I'm going to bowl that event. You know why?
Because it's in the Bahamas?
Exactly. Carolyn Dorin Ballard has not missed the pocket yet, has one strike in the first, and then followed it up with a ringing 10 and a soft 10.
Strike, spare. Through 3 for CDB. Carolyn Dorin Ballard, part of Team USA's historic victory in September in Hong Kong. The first time since 1987 they claimed the 5-player team gold medal at the 2011 World 10-Pin Bowling Association World Women's Championship. Shannon Pluhowski, Stephanie Nation, Shannon O'Keefe, Liz Johnson, Kelly Kulick, and CDB, your 5-player women's team that took down Singapore 12-10 to 11-40 for the title. While CDB, the 2-time PWBA Bowler of the Year, looks to increase her 21-pin lead. Here's what's in the bag today for Carolyn Dorin Ballard as we look at her arsenal: Defiant, Shooting Star, Frantic. Shooting Star is the one that she's been going with so far today. Back on the strike train.
Every ball in the pocket. She's kind of saws the rack a little bit there, throws a couple into the 7-pin, and now it's strike, spare, strike. Carolyn's clean through 4. Take a look at some of Sandra Andersson's mishaps early on. She wins the 7-pin in the first. This is a 10-pin in the second.
Sandra, come on, 10-pin. Why you got to be like that? Still without a strike.
And it's not like she can't hit the pocket. She's hit the pocket. It's the single pin misses that has dug her a 22-pin deficit thus far.
Well, spare play is how you win or lose at this level. And that's how she's losing right now. Bullied that one into the pit.
I mean, you got to think to yourself, it's got to be somewhat nervous energy that's creating that. I mean, you know, you start thinking a little bit different thoughts, and all of a sudden you get out of your element, and a little lapse in concentration is all it takes to miss one. We saw Mika miss one to lose the U.S. Open. One of the greatest spare shooters, reigning player of the year. It happens. The question is why, and how do you prevent it?
If you knew that answer, you'd be a richer man right now.
Quite honestly, I have an idea. I mean, we saw Sean Rash miss the 10-pin that gave Mika basically that just handed the title to Mika in the first WBT show, right? We've seen Sean do that quite a bit. I do have.
What is it?
You got to stop thinking. Remember when Mika did the interview after the U.S. Open? They interviewed him, and they asked him what happened, and he said, quite honestly, I just started thinking the wrong way. I started thinking the wrong thoughts. Bottom line, he started thinking. A wise man once said, don't think, it'll only hurt the ball club.
Another wise man once said, if you think, you stink.
You just got to shut it off, man.
Yep.
Put it on autopilot.
Easier said than done. That's my golf game. My head is talking all day long on the course, and it sneaks in, and it obviously can do that here when the lights and the TV cameras are on.
These players practice hundreds of games a week to program their body to perform a certain way. And when you interrupt that by consciously thinking or thinking outside the box, that's when bad things happen.
That's why sports psychology is a growing business in this world.
Oh, I didn't tell you? I'm opening a practice.
Nice pickup there as CDB's husband, the Hall of Famer Del Ballard, looks on. Great news. The health front for Del was really struggling a while ago when we saw him on the tour last year. They went back to the doctor, and the update from the doctor, awesome.
I've known Del for a long time. He's been a dear friend of mine for a long time, and there are a lot of people that were very concerned with Del and his health, and we're all ecstatic and very happy with his progress.
Carolyn leaves the 10. It was throat cancer.
Tonsils, actually, had cancer of the tonsil and a couple of lymph nodes, and it's actually very rare. But like I said, Del's doing very well, and
He looks great too.
Yeah.
Thinned out, and his wife's biggest supporter, and well, he's there. He watches every time she steps up on the hardwood and is there to offer some very informed coaching. But Carolyn, talking to her the other day, first words out of her mouth after you saw the big smile, life is good. Life is better after that spare pickup there. Her husband is doing well. The daughter Alyssa is excelling in second grade. Said to mom, don't come home without a golden trophy, Ma. And Ma is in control of that trophy right now. Looking for her first strike of the title match is Sandra Andersson. She is still hunting for it.
well, she liked that shot. It looked pretty good, and then right before it got in front of the head pin, it kind of snapped on her. Fortunately, only leaving the 4-7. Watch this, pretty good shot here. It looks good, and then all of a sudden, it just starts to break loose.
3 consecutive spares for Andersson now. Make that 4 consecutive spares after those opening empty frames. Messenger, yeah! All right, exhale, smile, sit, enjoy. Time now for the fast, safe, pain relief replay brought to you by the makers of Bayer Advanced Aspirin. Come on, Messenger, yeah. A little headbutt to drop it down.
This is a fast one.
That was a long time coming. So bad you can laugh about it. One of those outings. CDB up 24. Leave some wood up.
Well, it's not over yet. I mean, let's not start throwing dirt on Sandra Andersson. I mean, she's got a strike working. Carolyn hasn't doubled up yet. She's kind of waiting for her. Seen it happen before. Somebody gets lined up late, they string them, and the player that was in cruise control ends up getting run down from behind.
Yeah, Sandra has that look like she's lurking in the weeds, waiting for somebody to take a misstep. So we're done with 7. Coming up next Sunday at 1 p.m. Eastern, it's the Don Carter division of the PBA World Championship. First of 4 eliminator format shows. Jack Jurek is your only American in the show. Outside of that, 2 Englishmen, Don Barrett and Stuart Williams. And of course, the two-handed wonder, host Palermo. Carolyn still jawing to herself as we begin the 8th.
Not this time.
Strike number 3.
There's still a little fire burning in that gut.
A little? A little?
She'd punch you right in the head if she had the opportunity. You know that? And wouldn't
I
even
don't
think
doubt
twice.
it at all. I don't doubt it at all.
She's feisty
God,
and a
I love
lot
her.
of fun to watch.
Well, her entire family, just absolutely wonderful to be around. Let's see what Andersson has. Working on her first strike, looking for a double in the 8th.
Can't buy a break. Last shot went high. She makes the adjustment, moves in just a pinch on that lane, and comes up light again. Running out of frames now. Get the shovel ready.
Spare for Andersson. Now Dorin, Ballard. Big buck, 23. 9 frames.
Earlier today, the reigning PBA Player of the Year won the World Bowling Tour men's title, the Big Finn from Finland. 6-bagger in the title match versus Sean Rash, and then Rash begin those issues on television with the 10-pin in the 9th. Just handed that one over to Mika, who won it 237-224. Lead at 23.
Best she can shoot is 194 if she strikes out. Carolyn Dorin Ballard, if she spare strikes out, shoots 197.
Looks good. Yeah, looked good all the way.
Yeah, that was a good shot. Obviously, 10 back. 3 more of those in the 10th frame and see what happens. But right now, she'll watch Carolyn Dorin Ballard. Carolyn, all she has to do is stay clean, get good count, and she will walk away with the WBT title.
3 strikes, 5 spares through 8 frames for Carolyn Dorin Ballard.
Hit it.
7 pounds.
Well, that strike there would have all but sealed the deal. You heard her trying to coax that over into the 7-pin.
CDB remaining clean through 9. 23-pin advantage as we begin the 10th. A look of resignation from Sandra Andersson as CDB just 18 pins away from winning this one.
This is where you don't think, you just throw. It's like your bowling practice session. No meaning. Pretty good there. She knows the score, and she steps up here and makes a really good shot. Gets the ball into the swish zone, carries all 10. She needs 8 pins and 2 balls. I like her chances.
Way to go out on a limb, Randy. Her husband waiting in the wings, ready to celebrate. CDB bringing home the bacon. Eight for the win. Got it. Yeah!
World Bowling Tour Women's Champion.
Another trophy for Carolyn, Dorin, Ballard, and we'll hear from our champion when we return to Vegas. We welcome you back to the South Point Hotel and Casino here in Las Vegas. Our continuing coverage of the Geico World Bowling Tour Finals. Time now for your Geico Championship recap. Match number 1, the all-Swedish showdown between that young lady, 20-year-old Sandra Andersson, who had a double in the first and the second frames, another one in frames 6 and 7. She took care of Nina Flack by 30, 190-160. She struggled in the early stages of the championship match. Carolyn Dorin Ballard did not. She was clean throughout. Strikes in the first, the fourth, the 8th, and here to win it in the 10th. 207-162, another title for CDB, and Randy standing by with her lane side.
Thanks, Rob. Carolyn, I know it's been a while since you won anything. How does it feel to be back in the winner's circle?
Pretty overwhelming. You know, it's funny. We really just haven't had that much to bowl, and I've made a few shows, but I haven't won. And Dell and I had just been talking about that, and I'm like, gosh, you know, it's been a while. I really want to win again, but I'll tell you, I was nervous. You know, it's been a while. I haven't been on a show this year except once, and it's nerve-wracking. It still is, just like it was then.
And you managed your game beautifully. How were you able to do it?
Dell and Chris and I had a little talk before I started, and not one of my favorite patterns. Key was keep it in the pocket. Doesn't have to be anything wonderful. Keep in the pocket, make your spares. It's not going to be a 250 game. And I said, okay.
Rob Stone says you're sassy. What would you like to say to him?
I like sassy because people actually think I'm mean, and really, I'm not.
You're not at all. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Congrats to the sassy CDB on the title. Up next, the first step on the road to the PBA World Championship, the first major of the year, the Carter Division here from the South Point Hotel and Casino next Sunday at 1 p.m. Another title in the Hall of Fame career of Carolyn Dorin Ballard. For Randy Peterson and our entire crew, I'm Rob Stone. This has been a presentation of ESPN, the Worldwide.